The story of Adam and Eve, when we wrote the Torah, was said to contain an apocalypse that would unite all of humanity's children as the true tribe of Israelites. And if you understand how it works, you can impregnate your animals or livestock on a farm, and is used in vitro fertilization today to know when consciousness, your soul, your spirit, your spark of light that Israelite, is summoned into your newly created vessel. When your father's atoms from his serpent or sperm merge and take a bite out of your mother's egg, the forbidden fruit or apple, at the eve of your creation, it creates a spark of light that is real light, a real life halo that falls down from the kingdom of heaven, that is real light, to be transferred into your newly created biological 666 carbon vessel, to grow on a branch umbilical cord, on the tree of life, placenta, in the Garden of Eden, womb, until it becomes full term, to be kicked out to toil the soil naked. Right? The apocalypse in Adam and Eve unites all of humanity as the true tribe of Israelites. My vitamins this morning? Sip of water. Now I'm down to 4 eggs because I'm trying to take in less calories now that I'm a little bit healthier. Somebody was asking me about the plateau during exercises. If you think about this, as your body gets healthier, you need to decrease the amount of calories you eat because it takes less calories to do the exercises. If my heart has less cholesterol and things like that, and my muscles are toner, it takes less calories to do the exercises. Meaning meaning if I don't lower my caloric intake, I'm not going to lose any weight, and I'll hit a fake plateau. Didn't get enough sun in the summer? Now your health's a bummer. Who are you going to call? Courtney Hunt, MG, and Genetic Protocol. Some people have been reaching out to me to help set up and manage a YouTube channel and want to meet places to talk about it. I put a request in from my church at Lighthouse Christian Church on South Hill to maybe find somebody else in our community of churchgoers to help with that. Because they might have somebody there that has the technical skills and know how to do that, who might want to make some extra money, and if you guys are interested in it, you can meet me at Lighthouse Christian Church. I go there on Sundays at 11 on South Hill, Puyallup, and give me some information about maybe you helping set that up. Originally, the Catholic Church, before I started this whole deal, set it up so somebody could record and monitor everything that happens to me in the first place, because it was going to cause controversy or whatever. So somebody asked me about my tattoos, why I got them. I got them by a parolee who was let out of prison to give me my tattoos so I could go to jail. I got them ahead of time to go to jail. I had a state and federal background check, and I volunteered to be hunted by the people who come to try and kill the sexually exploited women and children and drug mules that are put into certain organizations. I volunteered, right? So remember, when you're saying things didn't happen, you're setting an example to the entire community and international community, right? Your organization, the law, the military, or whoever you represent cannot be trusted because people witnessed what I speak about. When you say the things that I say haven't happened, and the witnesses get to witness it and witness you say it didn't happen, it makes them not have any trust in you. Seen Clark Kent's foot? My wife just won $100 from iHeartRadio. You think about ketosis? Everyone should know this. You can go into a metamorphosis and turn into Kato and unlock the secret energy behind Bruce Lee's chi. When you drag on and enter the dragon by drinking tea that's an empty calorie, right? Just like the flight or flight scenario, when your body releases this chemical called adrenaline, when you're fasting and dragging on, or starving, surviving, your body releases this other chemical called ketones that cleans out the oxidization and plaque that leads to improper cellular function in your mitochondria, or the powerhouses that create the energy for your biology, right? Releasing your ball of chi, biology. I just got back home and out of the shower from helping at my church. So somebody asked for a post to verify that this is really me. It's really me. Volunteering at Lighthouse Church is like the greatest thing in the world. Yeah, it was a blast. I'm glad they let me participate. All right, boys, we're at war. It's time to execute psychological operation, codenamed Poontang, for the whole gang. Now let's think about this. Is your wife going to want to touch your ass if she has to come home and clean up after your ass? Don't you think about that? Or she gets home and realizes all the chores are done and you've given her a free pass? There's a bath drawn, lotion laid out for a massage. She has no chores to do. The kids aren't driving her nuts because they're not having sugar withdrawals. It's like a perfect day. Operation Poontang for the whole gang. Get your shit together, boys, by cleaning up after your own shit. Right? Or doing the household chores and cleaning you were taught how to do during your basics of your training. Peter Pan lived in a pan where the pesticides don't reside and the pests can still reside. What pests? Insects, masters of the universe, that are responsible for the chemical action behind olfaction, or the sensation that humanity calls memorization, that foundation for the neuroplasticity that holds our psychology and our memory. You ever witness somebody walk by a bakery and smell something for the first time they haven't smelled it in 40 years, nutmeg, and they go, oh my gosh, my grandma, she used to make me nutmeg cookies in her kitchen. She wore an apron with a sheep on it. Her hair was curled up. My grandpa was standing here, right? A memory that was never in their head for 40 years, and one smell brought it back. Now imagine using pesticides and household cleaners, removing all of the life that's responsible for those subconscious smells that bring back all of the rest of the memories that built who you are today. Somebody asked me about PTSD. You think about PTSD and how it can be helped by the community, paying attention to the details. Right? When for some reason I have a memory of my wife working at Helly Hansen before, and some children coming in the middle of the night and me getting hurt and me not remembering who to call because of inflammation in the brain, and employees from Helly Hansen showing up and those kids not making it to the next checkpoint. Helly Hansen employees telling me they're going to slip my wife a Mickey, and then them having to bring my wife home drunk and things like that, and then setting up situations that would cause marital issues while I'm being taunted and harassed into taking my own life, my wife's life, or doing something to the community. And then pretending that never happened. PTSD, right? Pay attention to the situations in your community. Getting ready to clean my house, and somebody DM'd me and asked me how to turn on their spouse. Real life shit. When you think about this, you don't know how to turn on your wife? And when you think about pattern recognition, you see this onesie and this 6-pack or 8-pack I got going on? While I'm cleaning my house, giving free time for my spouse. So literally, somebody's like, help me with some ideas on how to turn on my wife. Why don't you help her manage your house so you have more time to spend with her in real life? You think about that, though? Your wife come around the corner, your 6-pack glistening, you're just cleaning some shit that she should be doing, or she wants to have done, you're already taking care of it. And at the end of the night, she has all this extra free time. What is she going to do with herself? Come on, boys. Get your shit together. To a leave. Somebody asked me if I write poetry. I do write poems, but I don't like to share because I don't believe anyone would care. If I slit my wrists and rode the red tide, would that end the pain that I tried to hide? If I picked up the gun they gave me for fun, would that make all this torment be done? If I became their tool and shut up a school, would I just be written off as another crazy fool? I sacrificed my biology for the world to see. And where did that get me in this reality? So people are asking me to do a YouTube and things like that. If you think about YouTube, it's all about advertising and creating information that's catchy. But first you have to prove yourself. I had an accountant, Anon Mario, reach out and offer to set up a business where I could do that. If you think about my catchphrases, didn't get enough sun in the summer, and now your health's a bummer, who are you going to call? Courtney Hunt, MD, and Genetic Protocol, or Helly Hansen makes me hella handsome while I lend a helping hand, son, because honesty and integrity are part of the corporate policy. When I trek the mountains and travel the 7 seas, Helly Hansen makes it a breeze. I've proven I can come up with catchy jingles and catchphrases and information that generates viewers, right? So I just need a manager. I've reached out through my church to see if I can get one, but I got an accountant already offering free services. So, those of you guys that might be thinking about going into business or something like that, meet me at Lighthouse or reach out. Some brain octane for the cognition I want to repair, attain, and then maintain. I always say 1 and 2 makes 3, and I'm starting to see. 2 and 3 makes 5, and my neuroplasticity is becoming alive. 3 and 5 makes 8, and I'm starting to think straight, so on and so forth. What does that mean? You think about somebody suffering dementia, Alzheimer's, a traumatic brain injury, PTSD, any kind of neurological disorder, and how you can set up their daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly activities to be powered by their subconscious mind, just like tying their shoe, alleviating outside information, bogging down their conscious mind, allowing that information and those activities to be powered by their subconscious mind, the most powerful part of their brain, while they're in a ketogenic state, going in and out of that Goldilocks zone that removes plaque and inflammation so their brain can heal itself. It burns! You think about a vampire, right? It slows the rate at which it will expire by eating the vital essence of other living creatures. And they tell you a cross will burn a vampire, right? A psychological operation to bog down your psychology so you don't make the connection, right? Religions use fasting, right? When you pray to a cross, in any religion, right? Fasting puts you into ketosis, and it reverse ages your biology by removing toxins, right? A vampire slows the rate at which it will expire by being in a ketogenic diet. You ever think about that? Pattern recognition, cryptography, desensitization of the information using a psychological operation so you can't connect the dots. Ketosis. I want you to think about the ancient literature that speaks about your chakras and your kundalini, and how it says you can align your chakras by meditating your hunger away and calming your mind from the withdrawals a lack of sugar causes, or you can awaken your kundalini by meditating your hunger away while the snake in your stomach releases its venom into your brain that causes the awakening, and combining that particular metabolic rate that releases ketones that oxidize into acetate and are responsible for the true alignment of your chakras or awakening of your kundalini with Genetic Protocol's Complete Focus, Pro Mood Complex, and God Stabilizer that has phenibut in it, an actual neurotropic, right? But you want to think about the real survival mode for hunting-gather that raises your intelligence. My Christmas tree? Epigenetics. Your energy, E, exists inside a pie that cannot be created nor destroyed and is tied to your genes, and now it ticks through time while it's tied to mass. Tie me to mass so I exist. How? My epigenetics, my energy that exists inside a pie, is now tied to my genes so it can tick through this construct we call time. E, pie, gene, ticks. My energy that exists inside a pie is tied to my genes so I can tick through this construct we call time. Epigenetics. It's kind of like metabolic rate, right? The amount of calories I burn for each metabolic. 1, 2, right? My metabolic rate, my epigenetics. Making me and my wife some bacon and eggs, and I'm thinking about the chemical action behind olfaction, or the sensation that creates humanity's memorization, and how we could use that for behavioral therapy and people with PTSD and children with anxiety and things like that. In zoology, we studied a bear one time, baby orphan bear, who didn't know what to eat and it was starving to death. And they used that chemical action behind olfaction from humans for learning transfer or transfer learning to have an adult chew things up and breathe into that baby bear's face so that baby bear would now know what to eat in the wild, and it worked. You think about a child who's at rest and peaceful and always spraying a certain scent around them, right? And doing that for a few months, and then when they get highly agitated, anxiety or PTSD, you spray that scent around them again, reminding them of all those calming memories. Tribe. And I can find the Skywalker like Luke found the Skywalker. Can you find the Skywalker that the 7 seals of a rainbow reveals when all 7 seals unite in the covenant that arcs the Ark of the Covenant? An apocalypse, or lifting of the veil, a revelation of knowledge that will lead you to the truth in the information you were given that is not the truth, that will unite all of humanity as one true tribe of Israelites. When your father's atoms from his serpent or sperm merged and took a bite out of your mother's egg, the forbidden fruit, at the eve of your creation, it created a spark of light that is real light, a real life halo that fell down from the kingdom of heaven that is real light and not of this earth, to be transferred into a newly created biological 666 carbon vessel to grow on a branch, umbilical cord, from the tree of life, placenta, in the Garden of Eden, womb, until it became full term and was kicked out to toil the soil naked. Right? Making all of humanity's children the true tribe of Israelites spoken about in Abrahamic religions. So I often talk about a digital legacy that exists for all of eternity. If you pay attention to my live feed, a few minutes ago, a male exposed his genitalia to women and children on my feed. Right? Indecent exposure and exposing your genitalia to women and children, when the police find out, requires you to be registered as a pedophile. So a school bully or anybody who doesn't like him in his community can reach out to him, show him that video, and tell him, if you don't pay me a minimum amount of money every month, I will report you to the police and you'll have to be registered as a pedophile for doing what you did. Right? If he gets a job as a police officer, firefighter, politician, a faculty member at a college or school in the future, somebody can reach out to him and go, here's a video of you exposing your genitalia to children for fun. If you don't pay me, I will give it to the police and you'll have to be registered as a pedophile and lose your job. He set himself up for extortion in the future. Some more cryptography for you, from me, about human biology. Starving. Right? When you're starving, your body goes into this metabolic rate so you can start surviving. Surviving. We often talk about the flight or flight scenario and how your body creates adrenaline to help you get out of that situation. But we don't ever talk to most people about this metabolic rate called ketosis, where your body creates ketones to clean out your brain and remove dead muscle fiber and bring your cells into peak performance so your mitochondria can make the most amount of ATP per dollar. Right? So your star can start surviving. Starving, star surviving. Right? Why all religions, intelligence agencies, and militaries utilize fasting or HILT training, biohacking their new recruits' bodies into thinking they're in a fasting state. As you can see in this repetitive sequence, Pierce County Sheriff showed up with a mental health professional. I had to just remind them they already have my mental health evaluations and my paperwork on file at the courthouse and at their sheriff's department, and they have came out several times and had to deal with abductions from me and my wife, and picking up missing women and children from my location, and after they went and did their calls or whatever, they evaluated the situation and realized they were being swatted or were given false information, and then ended up asking me about ketosis and cryptography and cracking codes and helping them with that. It was a very cordial visit, very polite, as good as can be expected when you're swatted. So here's mine and my wife's Canadian bacon, pineapple, and cheese pizza. Now, people will say Abrahamic religions tell you not to eat pork. And I want you to think about pattern recognition and autism in reading ancient literature about soldiers that were marched into battle prior to the Bibles being written and when the Bibles were being written, and how that march put them into a ketogenic state, and them feeding them cheeses from goats, cows, and things like that with salted pork belly, and how that ancient literature states when they did that to those men in that ketogenic state or after marching, it raised their intelligence where you couldn't march them into battle and use them for fodder. When they got home, they were capable of understanding how to become farmers and engineers and things like that. Ketosis, ketones, lactic acid, and the chemical from pork that removes plaque out of a pig's brain because they eat all kinds of garbage, neurotropic. This is Ernie's pimp ride he uses to pick up chicks. People keep asking me why Josh Powell committed suicide and blew himself up with his 2 children. If you pay attention to the story from the very beginning, he said he was being framed to look like a bad person while being hunted and psychologically and physically tortured by members of the military. And everybody said he was insane. The military doesn't do anything like that. And then I decided to pick up his gas can and show the world, does the military actually hunt, stalk, and try to kill the people who take care of sexually exploited women and children and try to frame them for shit they never did? What do you think the international community and the local community of women and children got to see the military do? Right? They got to see Josh Powell was speaking the truth. Making my wife some brown and serve maple sausages and scrambled eggs for when she gets out of the shower this morning. Love is not the satisfaction of a chemical reaction, but the sensation of a neural network's quantum entangled electromagnetic radiation. So first of all, right, no sugar for breakfast for your children on the weekends. Cereal, fruits, bread, things like that. No sugar crash, right? Less irritability, right? More cool calmness for the parents. Secondly, you think about reverse aging your skin. Under a ketogenic diet, your body purges all of its toxins out of its system after 3 or 4 days of fasting or ketosis. Then jumping in a hot bath, as hot as you can stand it, with Epsom salt, opens up all of your pores, and that salt acts as an antimicrobial agent, cleaning out the bacteria that leads to your pores. Reverse aging your skin, or the secret celebrities use while endorsing other products. Nature, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, man. For my fast, 2 eggs instead of my normal 6. Tackle a tabernacle. G is us, the first and the last body of light that is real light. When the 7 seals of a rainbow unite, from every religion and civilization that sacrifices itself, if you have synesthesia, to see, during quantum field theory's local manifestations of energy into matter, to give me my daily bread and my last supper, so I can create the ATP I need to build my biology. If G is us, didn't sacrifice itself to give me my daily bread and my last supper, or turn water into wine, or turn 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish into chum, I would not, and you would not exist today. G is us.